Yeah, let's just let's start from the top. No, I'm not gonna. So there's like, I'm not gonna go through the videos because I feel there's too much there's too much information in like the
Too much.
videos and the Ziggy video, and it's gonna be too long. So I'd rather actually just keep it concise, and tell anyone who would be watching this to be like, go check out
The website and
the
just look.
website and look at the video, and go check out Ziggy D's video on his presentation of all the elements of Betrayal League. It's very exhaustive, and I don't want to cover all that. But just
The T- I think I can go TRDR right now and just be like, this league to me is going to be a 50-50 coin flip if it's not utter garbage.
well, wait, no, that's just jumping straight into the judgment. I do want to re-go over what they write on the
Okay,
website
fine.
and just kind of like be like, okay, what are we kind of getting here? Okay, so the four divisions: fortification, transportation, research, and intervention. Now we know that it's a crafting system, so
Yes.
my first
Also,
thing is like it's gonna be the mods we're gonna get are gonna be tied to
correct.
which things we are going through.
That is what
Um,
they have said. It is supposed to allow for targeted farming. It is said. What
but
that
now,
means they weren't specific on, but they're like, no, depending on not just which
depending on which
thing
combo
you're
of
in.
person and
Yeah,
area, because it's like I noticed. Okay, so I noticed on the image that they have little like they have little symbols
card boxes.
sometimes
Yeah,
and card box, and it's like I'd assume that that's gonna tend to be what they have maybe, or
I
if
think it's
not
their special drop. It's my guess.
possible. But then again, they gained like one of them gained a square in a video, like a little image after getting killed. So it might also be indicating their level.
No,
Um,
okay, it does. So what happens when they die? So they
as they
kind
get
of explain
stronger.
this.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
die and they get quote unquote stronger, and they sometimes are handed a new piece of equipment.
yeah,
So that's why you saw the picture of Gravicius, where he
yeah,
normally
yeah,
I think starts with chest. He then had weapon.
yeah. You
So
had a disfavor.
that means, and that means that if you force him up into captain level, depending on which floor he's on, he's going to drop a different combination of those items. So if we saw Gravicius stash once, which I'm going to guess is Gravicius research,
We've seen Gravicius'
it
stash
which
two or
is
three
div
times.
card. Yeah, but we
Uh,
don't know which room that was.
yeah,
So
but it
I'm
was
thinking
div
it's
cards
research.
both times we saw it.
I think that's probably just his research drops. That's my guess. That would make sense for research, just to drop
Yeah,
div card.
div cards. Um, that would make sense.
Where like fortification, it should be armor at that point.
Fortification, armor,
Assault doesn't.
intervention, weapons,
Yeah.
and transportation is a bit of the odd one because movement speed's only ever on
Boots.
armor. But are they really making an entire section that's only boots? I feel like it's more than that. I feel like it's got to be more than that.
Movement skills. You get 2120 whirling blades. I don't know.
Uh,
There'll be something there for it though.
but yeah, and what's also curious to me is going to be like, what are these special mods from the boss, from the big boss? And I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of a throwback to Incursion, partly insofar as the uniques you get on the final boss are going to be influenced by the pathing you took to get to
I
him.
think that's the biggest change I have a feeling between this and Incursion, because this is in a sense warbands and Incursion combined. Essentially, is this people instead of
Yeah.
rooms, and you're killing fucking groups of fucking people over and over again, like it's a warbands back. Um, is that I think it's going to be much more. You're not. It's going to be completely either it's completely random who you're fighting at the end, and whoever you randomly get, which is very possible because GGG loves RNG, will decide which drop you get based on which, I
There
guess,
is, yeah.
four cards you dealt for the final for the stronghold raid part of the like fight,
Mm-hmm.
or the combination of stronghold raids decides which one you're fighting. So let's say you dealt like Hillock, Leo, Gravicius, and Rin. Like it's going to be Barichi that you're fighting at the end. But if you did something like Hillock,
Kima, Aislinn.
Yeah, some other 4 combination. It's gonna be Katarina instead, or some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be.
Which would then allow you to determine which item you're getting. Because I'm guessing each of the old Forsaken Masters who are. I mean, I know you're just going to farm Vegan over and over again as a joke. Repeatedly spawning Vegan if this is the case.
Yes. I mean, it's the only choice, really. It is the only way. So the thing is, there are 14 characters, right? There are 14 characters other than the core boss. So I don't think it's gonna be one of those situations where it's just these 4 characters spawn this, because there's too many combinations. I don't think they made a specific boss for everyone.
Yeah, that's why I think it's an RNG.
I do, however, it might be RNG. However, I could see it being a kind of a system where some of these define the nature of the boss, and some of them define kind of the buffs they have.
That's also possible.
I could very much see it that way. Just be like, fort intervention is like armor attack is like this is who they are, and then like research and transportation is like this is how they do shit. I don't know. I'm just or whatever other combination, but like I could see that being a thing just to limit the amount of combinations you could have. Okay, so the safe houses are basically just mini incursions. Well, the safe houses are mini temples, right? They're like the end of, because all you do is you're gonna have mini events. Essentially, either the like a rogue exile or a mini incursion that is like the research thing when you do it, or fortification was you're just attacking a camp, right? And so that's
it's a camp. You have to blow up the door of the camp and then get inside to where the guy is hiding in the middle and then kill.
Yeah, that's basically like a kind of like a single spot abyss where it's like you're just there's mobs in the center and you're just killing the mobs that come out of the center, and then transportation is just it's kind of at the end of the day it's another kind of rogue exile thing where,
like I said, I agree, it's anti-escort mission.
Yeah,
that's all it is. It's just you stop the caravan from doing shit and then murder whoever the hell.
Yeah. So then when you do those and you do enough of those, you then go to the Raid Syndicate safe houses, which are basically the like mini temples where you'll get your own items and stuff. And then in these and from these members, you're also going to get the veiled modifiers, which means so one big thing.
You might get. I think you'll get veiled just in general.
No, I know. Yeah, I mean from any member. When I say member, I mean like anytime you kill one of those essentially rogue exile members in the world, you're probably going to get one of those items, which means that this is actually one of the first leagues which is severely rewarding engaging in it as you first start, because regularly
I think those veil here's my guess on prediction number 1 for this league. Those veil mods are bullshit.
Yeah, they're always bullshit.
They're gonna be dumb as shit. And that's where your power creep is going to be. Because I guarantee you, but the thing is that they get, I need to see, because my guess is right, they're going to get stronger each alt. That is my guess. Because they level up.
Yes.
Like those mods level up.
And that's what I'm saying insofar as this league severely encourages interacting with it right from level 1. Like we kill the first dude we see on the coast, we nuke him because he's gonna give us a mod, and it doesn't matter if the mod is shit. The whole point is we've unlocked the mod for future crafting, and when we get another dude that gives us another shit item with that mod, we get it to level 2. And so the idea is to when we get to maps to the point of crafting, where crafting is actually kind of more relevant, we already have access to some of these really good mods. So
what I meant by that part is more that it's going to have a feeling to be, it has to be account bound at that point because it's a crafting mod. Meaning, let's say you're going to find sooner or later a level 1 weapon with like, 80 spell damage or something, because that's the fucking roll. It's the next part of the crafting thing because there's no level. So you're going to have literally a weapon like kind of like how encouraging how I had a Doriani's within the first 8 hours of the league. This
Yeah.
is like the reverse of that. This is going to be my second, like first or second alt is going to have a Doriani's within 5 seconds because I'm going to kill one of these guys and just just ID some bullshit mod.
I mean, let's be real. Your second alt is going to have a fossil crafted GG weapon that you are then going to throw on a veiled mod by crafting it on top of your pre-fossil crafted item.
God, I hope they do something with fossil crafting, because if not, my first alt, is I'm rolling a fucking fossil crafter.
Fossil farmer.
Like, I'm running a fossil farmer.
Yeah.
Because why would you not?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't give a shit. Like, the thing is, like, oh yeah, Delve is now cock blocked, but who gives a shit? I just need one good room.
Mm-hmm.
And I can run this son of a bitch forever and make all the money in the world.
Anyway, we're gonna see how they rework things, because they're gonna but I think it is a valid point insofar as with the way they've chosen to integrate it. We're still not that clear on the details, but basically from Ziggy's video and from what they say, the master dailies. So the video only says the master dailies are in maps, but it doesn't specify that masters aren't before that. So I'd imagine you cross them as you go. I don't think you're gonna first cross them in maps. I believe you're still gonna probably cross them, maybe in zones. But there's a lot of elements here that are gonna require some tweaking and stuff. Most notably, the fact that bestiary and incursion are both things which are tied to the level of the zone. So that's the big problem to me with the new masters of like bestiary and incursion being used through maps is
what, you're afraid of the old trick of farming mudflats level 4?
No,
that's have dumb to get no, the whole joke is like, or like,
yeah,
what was it, Southern Forest? No, it was Tidal Island.
Oh, yeah, you just did
6 for bestiary to get the fucking headhunters.
Yeah. But the thing is, especially with incursion, because in bestiary the problem is the limit of there's a lot of maps. If you're not in a high enough level map, the good mobs just do not spawn. They just don't. They can't.
Yeah, they can't.
The other thing, it's just layers and layers of RNG, and then the incursion thing, the worst part with the incursion thing is what happens if your Olive of Alai spawns on a T2 after you've gotten like 7 incursions and like a T15. You don't want to do that, but what do? Are you stuck waiting until the next day?
Yeah, I'm guessing you
Sorry.
have to. Like,
can you abandon? Like, are you screwing over your thing? Like, it's gonna be very.
I'm hoping that it's like Elder in that, or Elder Spawn, that it does follow the tier of map you're on.
You tend to be doing.
Yeah, like it's gonna be somewhere in the ballpark. So if you're farming red maps, they're gonna spawn in red maps.
I hope so. We'll see.
That's I think they would, especially for like incursion and like bestiary. On the other hand, like it needs, I think, like incursion, yes, bestiary, I'd rather it be RNG as fuck, because the power of bestiary was like, dude, I need Ironheart to hit fucking ley lines. I need those fucking crab. I need the fucking squids so I can get fucking mirror recipe going.
Yeah.
You know, it's like shit like that where it's like Einhar, you want him to be everywhere because you need, like I said, Einhard is the spookiest one because his bestiary itself, even if you simplify it, if beast crafting is somehow in the game still, like where you need beast as a reagent, which I don't think you will, thank God. You are going to need him to be very, very specifically on certain maps as much as possible. And if you can't determine that, bestiary is going to be an absolute nightmare to play.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. We're gonna see more into the. We're gonna learn more about the implementation of these new masters eventually, but it's just like the first kind of reaction. Other than, of course, the only true possible reaction to this league, which is R.I.P. Vegan and Hakuna Matata Warrior and the angry Scottish man screaming at me because he wants me to beat his pole. It's
him over and over again.
It is truly sad. But if it is true that the betrayal is the masters are leading this thing, the Forsaken Masters, now the Immortal Masters, truly the most skilled at Diablo Mobile. If
I like how this league almost did get called
yes,
Immortal.
I saw that. Almost got called Path of Exile Immortal. That would have been amazing. But
that would have been like, wow.
yeah, so if they are, we will be able to rest in the solace that we can repeatedly murder vegan over and over and over again.
This is the weird thing, though. I do think, and they haven't really quote unquote confirmed it, but they basically have, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Bex has basically confirmed it. I think this might be the first league, quote unquote, that is already core. Like truly core. Like they're like, yeah, everything is going to be core except for June.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but June's gonna be fucking core the second this league ended.
Yes, but it's no. I feel like that's just kind of aligning itself with all the last changes. I mean, if you think about it, Incursion was reworking everything Vol related, and that was all standard right away. It was just you didn't have the temple. Same thing here. It's like reworking all masters. You just don't have the.
I really think the last 3 years,
mystery
like,
temple.
3 leagues have been nothing about. I think literally all 3 leagues have been leading up to almost.
Yeah.
Like,
which
this
is
was
cool.
always the plan.
But I mean, look.
Like, I'm happy they didn't tell us that Ironheart was coming back because that made me so happy to see. I mean, BCA was still a shit league. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh no,
you can say,
it was trash.
It was good. I don't care. It was bad.
No,
it was badly implemented. But Ironheart as a character, if I get to hear Stupid Beast again, I'm fucking fine with this.
All he has to do is sit in my hideout, and every time I leave a map, he goes, "Welcome back, stupid beast," and that's it. I'm happy. He doesn't have to do anything. I don't even need him to craft. I will level him up to unlock stupid beast. You give me the worst. You give me fucking Varici open box quest, and I will do it just so he can unlock the voice line, stupid beast. That's it.
I mean,
doesn't have to do anything else.
Now.
Okay, so streamlined master crafting.
This is the spooky part. I think this is like
what, streamlined mastercrafting?
Yeah, no, I meant the mastercraft itself. I'm like, this might be the most power creep they've added since Shaper, right? Like just straight up.
Okay, I'm not sure I'm following here. I'm on the streamlined mastercrafting part after.
Yeah, I'm talking like the mastercrafting itself is ridiculous. Like how high the values are now.
How like, so? I haven't seen anything much.
Oh, okay. So beforehand, like let's take movement speed for example. We don't know if this is the top tier movement speed roll. The old top tier movement speed roll, I think, was 6, if I remember right.
I thought it was 12.
I think there's another tier past.
Was there a tier past?
Yeah, there's 2 tiers of movement speed. But even if it is 12, it's now 25.
Okay, so here's the thing. I believe that this movement speed roll we're seeing here in Streamlined Mastercrafting is a June roll.
No, the June roll is going to be the hybrid. The 20% movement speed, enemies can't be chilled. Or you are unaffected by chill. They've already shown it.
Really?
The boots. So if you go up and scroll to the veiled item list and look at the boots, that is the June craft.
Okay, let me see.
20% increased movement speed cannot be chilled.
Wait, write this. Okay.
That is just a normal craft. And remember, it doesn't even matter because the June craft is a master craft. So, I mean, we're talking already. That's a nutty ass mod. Crafting +1 curse. Do you know how many fucking
but that's
trying to get a goddamn +1 curse? Like, here, have it. Just fuck it.
But that's like a league special mod. Like, okay, so I'm not disagreeing.
Core, then it's permanent. It will always be there.
Maybe. I feel like this is like talking about how they implement the league that hasn't even gone out yet into core. I think that's a bit too far ahead. I do agree that it's really fucking OP. Oh no, yeah, no, they're all really fucking strong. Like I'm not saying +1 totems. The melee damage and
damage with weapons pen 23% chaos res. Fucking Ellie pen on weapons, like good, like flat, like good percent rolls. I wouldn't be shocked if there's a good percent roll plus weapon range on belt.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like these mods are insanely powerful.
Yes.
Like
They,
it's like here, just craft on them. Just sure, anytime you want. Yeah, +1 weapon range belt with melee damage. Fuck it, sure, it's a shaper mod. Who gives a shit? Here, just have it on your level 30 belt.
so here's the thing, and this is where I think to me it's going to be decided as to whether this is completely absurdly OP or actually kind of justified in a way. So if this league is where they decide, because about 3 leagues ago now they said we find stat sticks and stuff and a lot of shaper mods to be a problem, we want to rework them. Now if in this league they gut the shit out of stat sticks and a lot of those things, then I think that these mods now being there is kind of okay, because it's like, all right, well, we've taken basically the most powerful thing in the game and we've gutted it. Now in counterbalance, here's what lets more builds, not just a build of aka you do fizz damage, have more options for more power. And that I would be a-okay with. So like, I agree with you, they're fucking OP, but if they remove the most OP thing in the game from where it is right now, I think these OP things are okay. Now if they don't, then I think this is stupid, because at this point, you're just letting them add an extra layer on top of what is already broken.
Pretty absurd. Like, cause if you look at like the tier 5 lifecraft, the 75 to 85,
Yeah.
that's essentially a like tier 3.5 roll of life. That's a T3 life roll. For fucking, what is that? How many? 4 transmutes or some shit?
No, these are all one. It's placeholder. They're all one. Every single thing is one.
It has to be placeholder.
It has no. It is placeholder because even the 3 different tiers all cost 1. There's never. Crafting has always cost. Has always had increased increments of cost.
It might have been because they did show some of the crafting cost when they were doing on like Ziggy's video.
Yeah, and it has. They have
very low.
Yeah, they are very low, but there are different costs. There's like various transmutes, alks, so like all thing, and they have numbers there. This is all ones, so this is clearly placeholder.
But I mean, even then, like that's the other half is this. It has to do with the devaluing of gear. To me, this like devalues picking up rares even harder, and there's already almost zero reason to pick up rares. I mean, at this point, like I know what I'm doing day one. I'm not picking up rares. I mean, I am picking up rares, but I'm never IDing any of them. I'm gonna put them in a fucking quad tab, and I'm gonna do like chaos recipe for the first 3 days. Because why bother? I only need a few pieces. If I can craft, I get up to like T4 life like day 2. Why the fuck do I give a shit? I mean, I can buy a piece of shit thing for a chaos and put T3 life on it.
Well, there's also the question, and this is another thing that's going to be really big on how they implemented the actual regularity of masters and how you get them and all that, is it's going to be how is this progression towards unlocking this T4 life, right? Because it's like, basically, before you wanted the max life craftable, you farmed your Haku to 7. Okay. Now, how does this work to get the new one? What's the amount of time? Like, we don't know this. So I think that's going to be a big factor in this, is like, can you get this on day 2? Or can you not?
It depends. If it is tied to doing certain events, like do a delve, or get to a certain delve room, or do a certain incursion room, right?
Yeah.
That means people like me who are going to take 2 days off of work and literally play for 4 days straight, 18 hours, I am going to have way more in terms of enchants, because remember, if they're tied to matches, they're tied to how fast I run maps. I'm playing a Queen of the Forest Wind Ripper build. I clear maps really fucking fast.
No, I know. There's another couple things. There's 2 other things that I thought about when I saw this, which was A, prophecies. How are the prophecies that gave you old masters going to work? Did they give you the new masters now? Or are they just deleting them? Because that would be also another alternative way of getting additional masters. Is there a way to boost your speed or not? We don't know. And B, how is this going to interact with other players? Because say I walk into a map and I have Einhar there, right? Can you jump into my map, get Einhar, get XP? On the other hand, if you don't, doesn't that shaft parties who want to play together? Because it's like, oh well, if we're playing and say I'm opening all the maps because I'm doing whatever Atlas or shit bullshit, like X. I mean, it'll probably be you this league because you're the one. Let's say you're opening all the maps and I'm following you. Does that mean I am incapable of mastercrafting because you open everything?
Don't
Like,
see it.
I don't know. I think they're gonna share it because masters used to
It
be
will
shared.
more
But
than likely.
if it's shared, then there's also kind of
Split
the
farm OP.
yeah. Then there's the thing of just how much easier have they made it to get all these mods, especially the previous T8 master mods. That's the biggest thing.
We don't
that
even know if meta mods are in the game still.
I don't know. No, we don't know. But
Which
if
would be
they
a huge
are,
kick in the nuts to crafters. if they got
yes.
meta mods.
However, I feel
Well,
like
that means
honestly
you
with
can buy it.
everything we have right now to craft, I would actually agree that meta mods
Are too powerful.
just are too powerful. Yes.
The thing is though,
It's why all the previous leagues specifically worked around meta mods. They've been balancing around meta mods for a while now because it's the last remnant of being able to fuck with a piece of gear so deterministically. It used to be eternal orbs, they removed eternal orbs, and then it was like, okay, well, meta mod crafting, you can super deterministically craft whatever the fuck you want. Especially because
you throw enough money at it, you'll get
exactly.
where you want to be.
But that's the point. And here, the last 3 leagues was like incursion. I mean, you can kind of meta mod it to a certain extent, but you have to be lucky in dropping the base and the mod on it, kind of like a warbands thing. Yeah. So you didn't have much control over that. And then it was like bestiary. Before that was if you rolled with bestiary anyway, it ignores meta mods. And same thing with fossils. Fossils just ignore meta mods. So it was like I think I could see them having deleted it just because recently they've been so obsessed with all of their crafting mechanics not working with meta mods.
Fossil crafting slightly ignores meta. If you tried to, let's say, if you did a prefix and tried to do, like, you would get stuck. But the thing is, though, like, people meta crafted the shit out of fossil.
After they were fossil crafted.
Yeah, you had to fossil craft it
first. Yeah, but that's my point. Is you cannot use a fossil. You cannot influence a fossil's outcome through metacrafting.
Yeah.
You had to first fossil craft, then metacraft upgrade.
Which was not that hard, sadly.
No, of course it wasn't. Of course it wasn't hard. I'm not saying fucking mastercrafting hasn't been powerful. It's always been the most powerful. But I'm saying there has been an intent shown from them to try and limit to a certain extent the power of metacrafting.
But like I said, I mean, I hope you're kind of right on this, because if not, so beforehand, like, those crazy crafter dudes who had level 8 masters day one just had to pay a fuck ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be a plus and a negative. To get to their level 8, they just had to pay people or have an army just feed them non-stop masters, or they were doing constant rotations where every time they found a master on a map, they were doing another rotation and all that shit. Now it's going to turn into, I just have to be in the map with the item to complete the challenge to get the metacraft. Okay, let's say I get like a multi-mod, right? It's an incursion mod. You have to defeat Omega Omni Tech or whatever the fuck it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I got that. If you want that right now, 10 exalts.
Yep. Yeah, I could see that.
That's what I'm gonna do. If I can do it that way, I'm gonna be like, you want it? You want the big boy craft? Fine, 10 exalts right here. Pay me up. Like, it can be insanely profitable, but the thing is, that means that some people, like, it turns into it is the ultimate rich get richer.
Yeah. It further segregates because it's like, unless you happen to get lucky and get it. But we don't know any of that, so like I don't think we can pursue that too much further. But it's master mods, like master multi mods, and their future is definitely going to be one of the major things to look at with this new streamlined master crafting system. Because general mods, it's like, okay, yeah, some of the mods are getting better. I honestly think that the mods, like the movement speed thing, like, yeah, it's more powerful, but it's still basically T3. And like mods, in my opinion, needed a buff anyway because they were so old, and we had 2 new tiers. T1 back then is fucking T3 nowadays. Like, we've had multiple new tiers of highest level. So like it's about time that they got some. So these kind of mods, like the movement speed, the life, and everything, like I think it's good that they got buffed to higher extent.
To me, it just makes rares even less worth picking up. That's the whole thing. It's turns more. I mean, I'm not gonna bitch because, like I said, last couple of leagues, probably since bestiary or bestiary, however we're gonna pronounce it, like I've enjoyed crafting more and more.
Mm-hmm.
But like to me, it just pushes that more and more in my opinion because it's
I,
like, why am I IDing any rare? I'm just gonna just craft it. It's
I also
fucking
think you can see it the other way around. I'm trying to think a bit more of the casual person because, like, obviously, I think what you're saying is what applies to us, like people like us that play a lot, that play efficiently, and all that. But I'm trying to think just like the occasional player. So the guy who was at BlizzCon and who's obviously now playing Path of Exile for the rest of his life, right? That guy, he's gonna pick up rare and he's gonna be like, man, this is like not bad, but I can't really fit it. The fact that mastercrafting is simpler and that might be a bit more powerful will help him be like, oh, dude, I just got these boots with good life and some good res. Be like, all right, I'm going to slap 25% move speed on it. And it's not going to be a GG piece, but it's still going to be a bit better and going to help him get easier access to overall decent gear from just IDing random rares. So I don't see it as entirely a negative like that. I think that it will help those people.
Yeah, I agree with it on principle. Like I said, I'm just more worried for the high end game. Like we're getting pushed more and more. Like I said, I mean, that is going to definitely be my strategy early on. It's not going to be like basically at 60, I'm just gonna pick up pieces and throw them in a fucking stash.
Yep.
Like I'm not even gonna ID rings or necks. I don't give a shit. I will just 2 chaos recipe everything, make absurd, like make multiple exalts really fast day one, and that's that. And then you're like, I'm just gonna buy fucking decent pieces. I mean, my gear doesn't matter. My gear is like what 18 pieces of unique, anyways. But the ones that aren't.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, and I think that's also going to be another thing with the whole chaos and the chaos sync question here. But I know, but just before we go into that, because that's a bit more complicated, I just kind of want to go to the last two sections of the new endgame maps and new and revamped skills and the uniques that are shown. So reworking the Atlas worlds, I always like that. I always like that they shift things around. I think it's good, keep things fresh.
I mean, like I said, my goal is even though I'm playing Wind Ripper, I am gonna probably still do at the beginning. I don't think I'm gonna do shape strat. Unless I see the map and it looks like it's efficient to do a shape strat. Like I'm just gonna just play normal Quant Farm Wind Ripper, not give a shit about doctor cards, and just
Yep. So the new maps is cool. The fact they changed things is cool. We'll have to see what the new bosses are. It looks like some of the new bosses are like unique new things, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm happy that the boss of the Primal City isn't just a fucking shittier all.
Yeah. Anyway, it looks fun.
Definitely.
So that's good. I don't have much else to say on new endgame maps. Yeah. Refreshing things is just good. So the new and revamped skills. So the revamped skills we already knew about some of them. So Ice Bear Vortex, we already knew. Ice Nova, they're all just kind of disappointing in my opinion, but we already talked about that. Yeah. So Arctic Breath and Tectonic Slam are going to be reworked.
Yeah. Arctic Breath I'm happy to see, and I'm happy that they're reworking Tech Slam.
Tech Slam.
I know some people were trolling. Oh my god, Tech Slam just got released, but let's be honest, Tech Slam was shit.
Yeah, it does officially the new shortest amount of time in between a skill's release and a skill's rework. I could understand people being mad because they're like, but what about this skill that I haven't been able to play in 6 years and it's still shit? And you're like, it sucks. But they're reworking things.
Worse Sunder that took endurance charges.
Yeah, they're reworking things. As long as they're reworking things, I don't really care too much in what order they're doing. So I'm glad to see that I'm glad to see that it's every league they're consistent with that. More reworks.
I'm happy that they're admitting that it was a bad skill and they're not waiting 6 years.
Yeah.
To rework a skill that they know is badly designed.
Yes. A bit sad on the no faded. It's been like 4 leagues. I want some new fadeds, but whatever. That's okay. That's just.
That was one of the things I was wrong about. No faded whispering. Be the last cold skill upgrade.
We did get a new cold skill though, which is right here. Winter Orb. Winter Orb. Winter Orb. But yes. Basic frozen orb. Creates an icy orb over your character when you channel. Rapidly lobs icy projectiles at nearby enemies. It looks so. I mean, just because obviously we talked about it a bit while chatting, but just so that whoever's listening
Clear
knows,
5 out of 10 skill. Clear 5 out of 10 skill.
it's really cool, except for the fact that it's not Fizz. So until Fizz is addressed, it is bad. That's it.
That's the second hot. The biggest problem that this skill is gonna have is just the fact that it's not, from the videos I've seen, not that controlled. Like, it just picks a target and shoots. But this isn't a 360 skill, it's a cone. Meaning, let's say you're fighting something and your fucking frozen orb decides to be like, now fuck you, fam. I'm not gonna fire the mob directly on top of you. I'm gonna fucking fire the dude behind you. And you just get murked because your fucking skill is too stupid to target the right fucking mob.
The last couple AI based things that they've released have been pretty good. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt on that.
That to me is my favorite. The targeting of the AI is really bad.
Honestly, the targeting recently hasn't been bad. I think it's been pretty good. I think priorities have been set well. And Winter Orb does seem strong, but it essentially seems like it seems essentially like a cold BV that's a bit more targeted and is projectile based, which is going to make it interesting for all kinds of like projectile interactions. However, as long as it's pure cold and as long as Fizz conversion shenanigans exist, it is going to remain a weaker BV.
Yeah, just because of the nature of stat stick to 2 OP.
Yep.
So let's get to the more interesting skills.
Okay, so the two interesting skills really, well, the most interesting is banners by far.
Banners, and I think the
brands, and then brands are cool. The other two, we'll leave the other two for last. Let's start with banners because I'm hype about banners. So you cast a banner and you turn into a mini aura bot. Basically, you basically gain an extra aura. You weaken enemies and buff your allies. So we do not currently know the difference between War Banner and Dread Banner, but from the names, well, we know that one gain stages as you kill and the other gain stages as you impale. We also don't know if the stages like go or like dissipate over time, like you have to keep on killing or stuff or whatever. But anyway, just from theory, like War Banner is probably going to be something that's going to give damage, and Dread Banner, I could see it. Dread
Banner to me, this is my theory. War Banner is an actual skill, as in it's like, you know, like a Ancestral War Chief or Protector, things like that, right? A melee character is going to be able to use this, maybe even a caster, and get something out of it. Dread Banner is Guardian only, basically. And that Guardian is going to be using fucking, because it's on Impale, which means it's so but it's only when you impale, which is the new mechanic, and I have a feeling it's going to be more supporty than good. Because it's only when you impale, as far as I can tell, you can impale one time, unless impale stacks. You're gonna fight a boss and get one impale stack on it.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to see, obviously, like the numbers and the things around this, but in essence, the whole idea of like casting a buff that you are buffing the buff, and then when you really need it, you drop it, and then you get a big boost in power. I really like that. I like it because it adds a flow.
It's cool.
And it's an on-choice thing. It's really cool. I think that all builds that just generally have like some slots free, that just want to like go faster and attack, like kill things faster, will probably just throw on a War Banner and just be like, hey, I just have a War Banner, I kill everything in the fucking game, I get to the boss, I drop it, boom, boom.
The only thing this makes me annoyed about is, good God, please GGG, tell me this league you finally added the shift in control and ship modifiers. Like, we're running out of room on our bars. Even builds that used to not have shit on their bars are running out of room finally, because you're just adding all these tiny little support things that are nice to have, but they take another button on my damn bar, and I don't have enough room.
Yeah, it's rough.
Pepe hands.
I don't know if they will. I honestly don't. I don't think so. But I agree with. See, the thing is, it feels like the problem to me is I understand why they'd want to limit because it limits your potential power, but that kind of forces it to just turn into a numbers game. And I like the idea of having all kinds of different support skills that you don't use all of them at the same time. You just use some situationally. But as long as you limit the buttons too much, you force things to be into a numbers game where it's like, what is the biggest damage increase? And that's it. And it kind of sucks. But anyway, that's the limited skill bar situation. So we'll see. Anyway, banners look really cool. I'm hyped to use them. I'm definitely going to be using that for sure. Because I've been using Brolem since they're out, and you know I know a lot of people don't. But, yeah, but I've been using them since they're out because I like it.
Well, I mean, I just changed my strategy.
Use cast and damage taken, Brolem now. Cast and damage taken, banner. There you go. We're good. Cast and damage taken, banner, Brolem, immortal call. That's gonna be our new 4-link. So, brands. Create a brand on the ground that attaches to an enemy that walks near it. So first things first, probably it's hopefully going to attach to an enemy if you just target it. Yeah, Storm brand zaps nearby enemies and deals damage in the area around them, while Armageddon brand summons destructive flaming meteors. Yeah. Branded enemies, AKA, so one's AoE, one's single target, basically, kind of seems.
AKA, you're going to get new. One is a. So I have a feeling. I think one is going to be the lightning bolt from Choir of the Storm. The other one is going to be Gravicius's missiles from Colonnade. That's my guess on what they're going to look like.
No, okay. I'm not sure about that. I actually think it's more. I see the Storm brand zap as more of the, like kind of like when Arc chains in between people, or
maybe,
or what's it called? That stupid skill, Orb of Storms. You know, where someone's gonna go to like all the things around.
Yeah.
But I actually think Armageddon brand is going to be the meteor from Lab that nobody ever uses. You know that glove enchant? You remember that? You remember that league where I played Discharge and I kept on killing myself to the glove enchant because my glove would crit and one-shot me because they forgot to remove Reflect from glove enchants?
Yeah, that was a good time.
I think that's what it's going to be. I think I could see that because it's an actual fucking meteor. It's straight up the skill.
It is. Well, that's what I'm saying. The whole concept of what it's going to
Traps
look like.
2.0.
There is that meteor effect when you're fighting.
I mean,
what is it? The Tyrant?
Maybe, but without traps.
The boss of Colonnade. When you get him to half health, he starts dropping meteors on your ass.
Yeah, maybe.
From outside, and that's what I was thinking. Like, that's probably it. Now you're right. It's probably going to use the meteor graphic from the glove enchant, but that's how it's going to be. It's just going to be like do. Like, it's going to hit the brand, and that thing is just that's the targeting. But the target isn't going to be directly on him right away. It's just going to be dropping meteors around that location. Like it's an orbital strike.
So, the thing I don't get really about this is branded enemies drop the brand on death, letting it jump to other enemies. Now, I understand the concept. The thing is, there is nothing in this game left that only kills a single enemy. So, there is also nothing in this game where an enemy will walk where a previously enemy was. So, there is no enemies walking on other enemies' corpses except for in Delve. That is it.
Yeah.
So, are brands only good for Delve? This is kind of what's making me iffy about this, is...
I think we're looking at it wrong. I don't think this is going to be like the banners.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, someone's going to because it's fucking Path of Exile.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
brand
to be a primary skill. I think it's supposed to be an extra layer of damage. So let's say you're fighting a boss. Chunking it on a boss makes perfect fucking sense.
Yeah, no, that does.
It's going to get nuked into oblivion. And you can do some interesting things. Like, let's say a lot of the weird shaper weapons, right? That you're not playing, once again, a fucking stat stick build. Let's say you're playing Arc. You can have the Shocking Bram in a 4-link, in a 6-link weapon that's all caster mods and have an extra 6-link weapon right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's for. You just throw it on the fucking boss and just start fucking arcing like you would normally play, and it's just gonna do buckets of damage.
Now the thing is,
they're gonna get killed instantly because the brand's on it, but you're playing Arc, so everything's dead anyways.
Now I would assume that brands don't stack. What I mean by that is I don't think that. I think if they have a brand already on them and you cast a new one, they won't get a new one.
Yeah, I think it's a one-hit use thing.
Yeah.
That's why I see them as support more than actual primary skills, because I think they're, like you said, they're going to be too slow for primary use.
The other option is if the triggering zone is actually very large. Like think like a small explosion on the dude, kind of a bit around him, but when he dies, he drops like an ink AoE orb of storms, and then anything within that circle, boop, it jumps to that next guy.
Yeah,
If that's how it works, then it could actually realistically kind of go maybe from a pack to another or something.
Yeah, but if it's not, then.
But if it's not, yeah, then
single target supports.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to throw on an Armageddon or a Stormbrand, depending on if I'm scaling fire or lightning, and just be like, there's a rare, or there's like a chunky rare, or there's a boss. I just throw it on, do my regular thing, and just kind of go. However, there is one thing which they could do, and that is if Stormbrand and Armageddon Brand kind of function as essentially the other elements of Frostbomb, where they just embrace the support aspect. And it's like, if you're playing cold, you go Frostbomb. If you're playing lightning, you go Stormbrand. If you're playing fire, you go Armageddon Brand. And here's the skill that you throw on that lowers the res, deals some extra damage, and has maybe one other cool effect.
Fire does not need that. Do not give fire another fucking pen seal, please. For the love of God, don't.
I mean, we need more reasons to delete Inquisitor. No, but what I'm saying, I mean, I'm not.
You gotta remember, fire has combustion.
So yeah, no, I know.
That, and then you get another one. Oh god, there's
no.
negative 190 res on everything.
Yeah, but I was more saying like negative res as in like the equivalent to cold, like an equivalent bonus to what Frostbomb, the purpose of Frostbomb currently serves, right? Which is some sort of way to have a support skill that directly synergizes with your chosen element to increase your damage. Like, if they take that route, that'd be cool. If they take the damage route, that'd also be interesting. But I feel like there is a higher chance of the actual damaging, like proper brand skills having a lot of issues rather than if they're supports. I think that they are very easy. The mechanic seems to lend itself very easily to being just a solid support skill.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think they're going to be another. I think that might be another way they try to get around the stat stick issues. Is just introducing more supporty skills that would be link intensive, but you don't actually have links, thus making the other shaper and other mods that give you support gems a little bit more valuable.
Which still wouldn't matter anyway, because the whole point of shaper is it gives you a bunch of elemental damage, so you could just use it on your fizz builds, because anyway you're dealing a bunch of elemental damage. And chances are you're probably converting it all anyway. So it's like...
but this is going with hopefully a nerf to
stat
sticks.
We're hoping on that.
More of a way of buffing. Because like I said, my biggest problem, we talked about this like before, is that the problem for me stat sticks isn't that stat sticks exist. The problem with stat sticks is that it only works with physical, and there's no elemental equivalent or anything that makes elemental have the same kind of power. And they need to add something where it's like, this is more universal, that if you're a caster build or a fire build, you can get this mod and do something with it and make it, and be your power creep. And like, not, well, I'm playing BV, so I'm no longer even using spell damage. I just have quad fucking stat sticks in both hands, and I'm 20 times better than the next build.
Okay, so Shattering Steel is the next skill I wanted to look at. Sword and axe attack that releases a cluster of metal blades, burst and impact, outward cone of damage. So basically, it's EK. It's Fizz EK. Oh no, I was gonna say it's Fizz Frostblades. Fizz Frostblades, but it's like EK but based on attack. Enemies can be hit by multiple projectiles of burst, which means it's shotgunning EK.
Yeah.
And Shattering Steel has a chance to impale a new effect restores some physical damage taken by the enemy and deals it again when hit. So it's EK, which rewards re-hitting thing.
This is like, I kind of agree. I remember when Raze was going over it, I kind of agree with him. The problem with this is this might be good in Delve. Once again, going back to, this might be good in Delve. Only because in Delve things get health enough to actually take 2 hits to die. The fact that the impale mechanic is, you get extra store damage when hit again. It's like, well, who gives a shit? I one-shot everything.
Yeah,
need a
I
second
feel like
hit.
Impale might be relevant when it comes to rares and bosses, basically. So we're gonna have to see
Yeah,
how it works. Also, why is there a Borderlands character in the screenshot? Like,
because
this is like just fucking 100% Borderlands cell shading. Anyway. Okay, so Shattering Steel, EK, we're gonna see. It might be good. We'll have to see the numbers for that, but
yeah, the
it looks
numbers
cool.
is not bad. I think it'll
Lancing
be
Steel
decent still.
is weird. So
Yeah, that one's weird.
the image really doesn't show all that much because it says summons metal blades that are fired forward in rapid succession. So do you like summon and then they fire? Is this no, it's an attack, so it's not a spell. But is this just another EK but with only a couple projectiles? And only the
Yeah.
center one applies Impale? At which point, how different really is Lancing Steel and Shattering Steel? Like it's really odd.
So this is what I'm thinking, and this is how I see it. This is this skill here, Lancing Steel, is going to become the melee barrage. That is what I see this skill as. Because it says it's firing in rapid succession, so I'm guessing it's gonna fire off like 5 shots in rapid succession. Unlike Shattering Steel, which is just like EK, it's just that one wave, just one wave, one wave. This is you're gonna slash it out, and it's gonna be laser, 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 laser. Really
Okay.
fast, like a barrage shot. But only the center shot is going to hit the impale. Now, if it works the way I'm thinking it's gonna work, the center shot hopefully goes first,
Yeah.
because then it would be laser, impale. The second shot hits, triggers the impale. And I don't know if it's how long it stores, if it's time based, if it's a one shot use, but that's what it's going to be. That it's going to be essentially a melee version of Barrage, giving them just another single target option that isn't Molten Strike
Or Blade Flurry.
or Blade Flurry. Yeah,
But then it's kind of you go back into that problem where it's
Blade
like
Flurry.
how amazing does this skill have to be to want to contend with those skills? Because those skills are pretty fucking good.
Well, the thing is, though, so when we talk about Molten Strike is the big problem because Molten Strike can be used with Axe.
Yeah.
It has to, so basically for this skill to be good, it has to be 2 criteria. One, it has to have better range than Molten Strike, and it has to do better damage or very close to the same damage as Molten Strike. That's a pretty tall fucking order. Like I can see it beating it in the range category. Cause I can see this going out like half screen, unlike Molten Strike, where if you really do need to be up in their face to trigger enough balls, or in the range where you can get the ancestral call proc. But this has to do with Molten Strike hits so fucking hard. Like, how do you beat Molten Strike single target?
It's very, very hard.
That's not Blade Flurry. That is not Blade Flurry with a good stat stick.
Hey, we'll see, but I'm definitely up for the skills. I might honestly, like, depending on the numbers, my first thought is I would like to play Wind Orb. But if stat sticks don't get changed and the damage isn't high enough, then I'm not going to. However, if stat sticks don't get changed, I might just try Shattering Steel, Lancing Steel, and just go the one-handed plus stat stick, because anyway, it's a Fiska, so it doesn't even matter how bad it is, because I can just fucking stat stick it to infinity.
Yeah, just quad stat stick. Dude, don't worry, dude, because you'll get back and I'll have you like 900 stat sticks. You know why? Because fossils are still in the game.
Dude, no. I'm hoping
stat sticks for fucking
the stat sticks better also have veiled like Omega Pen. Because it says weapons. It says attack. It doesn't say attacks with this weapon. The pen just says damage with weapons.
Yeah, no, I'll crap pen on it. Don't worry, dude. I got your back.
All right. Okay, so powerful new items. Let's get on to the uniques because it's almost getting an hour here. So 15 new uniques. A number of them have the veiled mods because they're from the league, veiled obviously. Bosses, yeah. 5 new div cards designed by supporters. So cool.
We don't even know what the hell they are yet.
We don't know what the hell they are, but whatever. We got new div cards. It's always good. I really like.
OP and they don't want to listen.
I really like the fact that it's veiled because to me this is so cool. To me veiled is the way they should have done alternative uniques since the start. Like just you don't just drop like, oh shit, I dropped the unique I wanted, but not the version I wanted. Just like, no, you dropped the unique you wanted, and now you get to choose which version of it you want best for build. So the bow looks really solid.
Very solid. If that Veil mod can be attack speed, this bow is like very, very good.
Yeah, because it's got maim, it's got bleed, it's got flash charges, it's got a lot of damage. Like it's really solid.
I would, no joke, if this thing can roll attack speed, I would roll this build on a Pathfinder and you have infinite flask. Because if you read it, it says enemies you inflict bleeding on grant 95. That means anything.
Yeah, everything you hit
with enemies. Meaning like Pathfinder just doesn't give a shit. It already has infinite flask, but now it has like
infinite twice.
Yeah, it's infinite flask. It's like you don't give a shit. You can just spam them, just hit 1 through 5 over and over again. It doesn't matter.
So now the big question is, it's going to be: are these uniques? Do the veiled mods and uniques just have 3 choices? And you just pick one of the 3, or is it random?
I think it'll be one of the 3, but the question is, how many are there? If it's just 3, that means there's just basically 3 versions. Yeah. Now, if there's 6 of them, now you're playing a pool game where you might have to get this thing a couple of times to get the right version, which also means, yes, it's RNG. You either get one that's worth 1 chaos or 5 exalts.
Anyway, I really like that. So the ring is fucking insane.
The ring is nuts.
Because +5 and whatever the veiled mod is, but I'm sure the veiled mod is going to be juicy as hell. The attributes is nice. I mean, okay, your one thing has 10% increased mana reservation. Guess who doesn't care? Anyone.
Yeah, 10%. The worst case of 10% is 5%.
Which, anyway, isn't actually 5% because if you're using it, chances are you're an aura bot. Well, so you're either using it just for yourself, at which point you don't care because 50% or 55% is the same, or you're an aura bot, at which point 10% isn't actually 10% because you're lowering it so much that it's actually more like 5% increased.
Yeah,
where it's like,
it's nothing.
It's okay, but who gives a shit? You're probably going to be able to fit it. And +5 is insane.
No, like, this thing is very, very good. Like, the reason I said, like, it's worst case 5% more is because I'm saying, like, you could possibly slap this on.
Just slap it on a discipline, dude.
+5 hatred or +5 discipline. It's like you're like discipline. Oh no, I'm paying 3.5% more mana, reserving that much more mana for 5 levels of discipline.
No, it's very, very good. On top of the fact that having uncorrupted or corrupted gear both give you bonuses, which is really nice. I love the
uncorrupted one is very weak, which makes sense, while the corrupted one is very powerful.
Well, I mean, the uncorrupted one's not that bad. I mean, just think of a regular character, right? So you got 2 weapons, you got helmet, you got chest, you got the 2 rings, you got the amulet, you got the boots, you got the gloves, and you got the belt. That's 10. That's 150 life regen if you're just wearing gear.
Right. If it's 150 flat. That is a stone golem basically sitting with you.
Just for wearing gear. That's it.
You're just 150 fucking flat.
Yeah, flat. Which is gonna get scaled. Plus, it has attributes. Like it's.
Which gets scaled with my Watcher's Eye Vitality Jewel.
Plus, it's got another mod that we don't even know. Like this ring is just really fucking solid, and I love it. And I love it because it's really solid, but it's not nuts. Like it's not so nuts that they have to make a T1 and that everybody's gonna fuck about it. It's just an accessible, good item. I really hope they don't make this ring super rare because it's really good. But
I don't think so. It's not that busted.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that busted, and I feel like a lot of builds would be very interesting to just be able to have access to it. And it's like an alternative to Essence Worm for builds that don't care that much about mana, but just want to have an aura, like a powerful aura in.
Also, it's an Essence Worm, by the way. If you read the flavor text, you can tell it's a fucking Essence Worm. It's an Essence Worm mixed with a goddamn freaking Void Eye.
In the past, there was another ring. Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah,
hey, maybe it's... Oh, no. I was going to say, maybe it's a vendor recipe.
It might be, but if it was, it is then just probably like Void Eye. Because the +5 levels would come from a Void Eye.
Yeah.
The other one is the Essence Worm.
So Solstice Vigil, is this just a new Uber Elder drop? Or a Shaper drop? Yeah. You think Shaper?
I think it needs to be a Shaper drop. Because Shaper is so bad. Like he's just bad. Like there's less reason to do it. So having this be like another Shaper job makes sense. I mean, it's the other half. So it's the other half of the Impresence, and to
Yep.
me, like normal Shaper is about as hard as a Red Elder. It's the other
Have I seen
thing.
the
So it's gonna
supporter
be probably
packs
like
yet?
temp change,
I just quickly passed over them. We're gonna
enfeeble,
pass over them
punishment,
right very soon.
shit like that, and then whatever the hell Shaper Presence does. So to me, it makes sense that this is just a Shaper drop. It's just a new Shaper.
Yeah, I could see that. And I mean, it's just overall very solid. The mana's really low, but whatever. It just kind of threw me off.
2.2. Remember, that's 2.2 flat.
Yeah, but that's still.
That's a lot because it scales with all mana regen.
It's not. I
That's a 2.2 is a lot of flat. Remember, dude,
Is
on the
it?
tree, I think like what? I think the note on the tree is 1.5 flat. No, it's 2. So the note on the tree is 2.
A 2.2. I think you're. I think it's a bit of an overreaction. 2.2 is about 80% of a level 1 clarity.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a clear. This is just a piece of gear.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's not bad. It just feels low.
Yeah,
It's just kind of random. It's just like kind of a random, like, hey, here's a bit of extra mana region. Like, it's not bad. It's just kind of like I just got a bit thrown off by it, where I'm like, huh? Like, so you're just giving us like 2/3 of a level 1 clarity on top of the thing that's just like, okay. I mean, cool.
If it goes 2 to 5, I think we're good. I think it needs to go like 2 to 5. If it goes 2 to 5, we're okay.
Yeah.
If it's 5, I think is what a lyric gives you.
Yeah, no, 5 isn't bad. I mean, 5 is a level 3 clarity, lol. But yeah, it's.
Once again, it stacks with everything. So
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, it's not insane, but like I said, the big mods are the last two. The fucking 100% reduced resolution.
Yeah. Well, the opposite of the Impresence, right?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's the second half of the Impresence, which is why I think it's a Shaper.
Vendor recipe. Impresence plus whatever this thing's called, Solstice Vigil. You get Impresence Vigil. All auras have 100% increased mana reservation, but you gain some crazy bullshit. So you can't run auras anymore, but you are OP. Be funny.
Maybe it's. I mean, I can see it. Maybe the combo deal. And then we have the supporter pack.
Yeah, the supporter pack. So as you said, there's Mr. Robot Hands, and then there's the Protoss.
Like I said, dude, you have to look at like the videos. Like, you gotta admit, dude, that's some fucking Protoss.
Oh no, it is 100. Okay, the portal's 100% Protoss. The armor less so. It's a bit too flappy. Like, I feel like Protoss armor looks better than this.
True. That's what I feel like.
But the portal, that's some quality portal Protoss TP right there.
Dude, I won't lie. Like, my plan for this league is I will probably buy the portal, the Soul Stealer, and I am buying the Undertaker armor.
So, my only request would be, can we please mod the Soul Stealer portal so that it requests additional pylons whenever you spawn it? That's all I want.
Additional pylons.
Like, but yeah, I think the supporter packs are pretty cool. I prefer the Undertaker armor set, mostly because so I'm a huge Protoss fan. I love Protoss, like, generally. But as I said, it's too flappy fluffy. The armor doesn't fit them as well.
I just want the robo hands.
The head is cool. The Undertaker armor, I feel, is cooler.
The only problem is
weapon effects are both good.
It's also a World of Warcraft set because it's very much ethereal.
Which one?
The Undertaker set is very, very ethereal looking.
Yeah, I guess.
Ethereal is the class, the group of the ethereal. Very, very similar.
You mean the BC the guys in around like southwest of whatever the capital was in BC? Yeah.
Yeah, the guys who had like the bandages on.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that. I could see that. I kind of don't like the scarecrow hat, but that's just the thing. Like, I could see it being
Switch
really
out the hat,
cool.
though.
Can you?
Yeah, you
Is that
can,
not
it's
just a whole helmet?
put on a. I mean, it's just the helm. Well, what, like the mask part? I
Yeah,
think it's
that's what
gonna be
I'm
a
saying.
helmet.
You think it's okay?
I think it's a helmet attachment.
If it's split, then I think it's really cool. If it's not, then yeah, because I'm not entirely sold on the hat. Like, it's cool, but I'm not entirely sold.
Let's find out real fast.
But yeah,
That's like I'm debating. Do I buy the portal first, or do I buy my Undertaker?
I might get the additional pylons portal just because I really like the style, but I
I'll need
don't
points for
think
the
I'm gonna splurge
league.
all the way for the. God damn it! I keep on forgetting I'm not logged in. And I click on shit. I don't think I'm gonna get all the way to the armor. Mostly just because
I'll get it by the end of the league, is what I'm thinking. That's why I'm debating. Do I want to get the armor now, or do I just want to get the pylon now? And I get the portal now, and then like around Christmas or like January after like the first of the year, then I buy my Undertaker armor set.
It's up to you. I'm probably gonna get the portal.
Well, like this is definitely one of the first times in a while I do, because I like. I'm not a huge fan of the. I think it's just too shiny for me. The like, you're just a little too shiny and metallic. Well, Undertaker just looks more.
No, I agree. I think the Undertaker armor looks way nicer. I like it a lot.
Like I said, but the portal on the other hand looks fucking amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, so overall, for the league, we didn't even like so many of these things are changes about masters and stuff that we didn't even end up talking about the league that much. I think the league, the concept behind the league looks really cool. It looks like it could be potentially overly fucking complicated, but I'm not gonna enjoy it, even if it's overly fucking complicated. Even more so because it's overly fucking complicated. But hopefully, it's not incomprehensible for anyone else. And if it is, that just means it's going to be more time of me answering people's questions, or they're like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "Here, it's this." But that's okay.
It just means I get to make more money off of it, because if it's complicated, people will just pay for you to do it.
Yep.
And that's my goal early on. Is just print the currency.
But yeah, overall the league looks really cool. The 3.5.0 changes. I hope we're not exhaustive. As we said, we have to see what they do with master mods and with stat sticks. Those are the two biggest things where we have to know if changes are going to happen, how they're going to happen. I think those are the largest pieces of information for the next coming weeks that we're hoping to hear. Other than that, honestly, everything looks really cool. I love the veiled mechanic. I love the leveling up your crafting through dropping more gear. I love the uniques veiled mechanic, and I'm hoping we're gonna get a fuck around with a lot of it. Yeah, no, it
I'm just happy
looks
no
like a good
leveling.
Yeah.
Just play the game, you'll get your crafts.
It's really cool. A lot of this is very experimental, and I hope that they are going to learn all the lessons from the last couple leagues and attempts that were all very experimental, and that they're really gonna work on it, because a lot of these things have a great potential, but also have amazing potential to fuck up and be absolute dog shit.
50-50. This could be Warbands 2.0.
Yeah.
Or they learn from it. It's not bad.
I think it's got a way better. It's got a really good, strong basis to be really good, but I completely agree with you that it's gonna be a bit of a coin flip, and you're gonna have to. I hope that with the announcements we get over the next couple weeks, we get a bit more of a clarification as to is the coin, is the dice loaded towards
the question is
better
private league.
Yes.
What do we do with private league on this one?
Okay, wait. But before we go into that, I'm just gonna end this thing. All right, so that's it for us. That's pretty much all our thoughts. We've had like a lot more thoughts and a lot more things about like the economy, the chaos, no chaos sync, and a lot of like what's gonna happen on that front. But there's just kind of too much stuff to cover. It's been about an hour and a bit now, so I'm gonna end it here. We're gonna keep on streaming. We're gonna keep on talking about this, and we're gonna probably play some games. But from now on, this is the end of the video. So yeah, if you are watching this from YouTube, thanks for watching and have a great night. And you can always catch me on stream. Take it easy.